Welcome to Too Fond of Books. My name is Janelle, and today I have a book haul for you. Now, the primary reason for this book haul is because I cannot resist half-price sales. There are a couple books here, however, that don't fit that category, so I'm going to start with them. The first one is the second book that I have ever pre-ordered. I just don't. I very rarely buy new books, and I definitely don't pre-order. But this one I did because I love the author, and this is a new series by that author that I was super excited about. And so this is Midnight at Malabar House by Vaseem Khan. Now, Vaseem Khan writes the, I just blanked. The Baby Ganesh Investigates series about the retired police officer who opens a detective agency and he has a baby elephant set in modern Mumbai. And I love that series. This is the first book in a new series set also in Mumbai, but it's 1949, so it was still called Bombay at the time. As India celebrates the arrival of a momentous new decade, Inspector Persis Wadia stands vigil in the basement of Malabar House, home to the city's most unwanted unit of police officers. 6 months after joining the force, she remains India's first female police detective, mistrusted, sidelined, and now consigned to the midnight shift. And so, when the phone rings to report the murder of prominent English diplomat Sir James Herriot, the country's most sensational case falls into her lap. Accompanied by Scotland Yard criminologist Archie Blackfinch and navigating a country and society in turmoil, smart, stubborn Persis must find a way to solve the murder, whatever the cost. So I am really excited about this one. I also received a gift from one of my wonderful subscribers. This was a complete and utter surprise, and I was just so grateful to receive this. This is Agatha Christie's Poirot by Mark Aldridge. This is the greatest detective in the world. This is a newer release. I believe it came out in 2020 or 2021, 2020. And he basically goes decade by decade and talks about Poirot, the books that were published, any adaptations, radio, plays, TV, movies. And so it's just such a great resource, and I am so very thankful to Jackie for sending this to me. Thank you, Jackie, so much. I am so excited to have this in my Christie collection. Okay, let's get on to the half-price books. Now, in a previous book haul, I mentioned Whodunit Mystery Bookstore in Winnipeg, Manitoba. Now, Manitoba is the adjoining province to the east of Saskatchewan. It's where we used to live, and they have the mystery bookstore there has a new section and a used section, and they have an annual used book sale, half price on all of their used books. And I still get all their emails. They have all of their collection online, and they're happy to ship it to you. And so I was super excited when I heard about their 50% used book sale, until I discovered that it was in store only. And then I was sad. But then I have a wonderful, wonderful friend who lives in Winnipeg who agreed to go to the sale for me. I went through their online catalog, and I had a list of books for her to look for. And so thank you, Kristen, so much for shopping for me. And so I got a nice little collection here of half-price books. And so I got Wycliffe and the Scapegoat by W.J. Burley. This is a police procedural series set in Cornwall. The series is from the 70s, 80s, 90s. I'm not entirely sure how long this series is. It's quite a long series, but I love that it's set in Cornwall. I also got The Servant's Tale by Margaret Frazer. This is a Sister Fervie's medieval mystery. This is another series that I am collecting minstrels and murder at a medieval abbey. And then I got some Paul Doherty. This is The Treason of Ghosts. This is from his Hugh Corbett series, again, medieval mysteries. And I really like the Hugh Corbett series. And as you can tell from the cover of this one, this is an earlier one in the series. This is also a Hugh Corbett. This is a more recent one in the series called Nightshade. The Treason of Ghosts is from, it's from the year 2000s. It's not as early as I was thinking, but not bad. This is quite a long-running series. And then Nightshade is... Oh, Nightshade's from 2008. I thought it was a lot later than that. But anyways, yeah, this is a series that I quite enjoy, set in the very early 1300s. This is another Hugh Corbett. This is the Mysterium, and this one is also, yeah, this one's 2010. And then I got both books. I don't know if there's more in this series now or if it's just this duology, but I got The Royalist and The Protector by S.J. Deas. William Falkland owes Cromwell his life. To repay the debt, he must hunt a killer. So this is a historical mystery series set during Cromwell's reign in England. And then The Protector, and I love the covers on these. When Cromwell needs a missing woman found, William Falkland cannot refuse. And then I also got, and I'm so excited because I think that I either have the whole series now or I'm just missing one, but this is Who Speaks for the Damned by C.S. Harris. This is a Sebastian St. Cyr mystery. This is, and this is one of the newer ones from, hang on. Yeah, this was 2020. So that was quite a good haul from Whodunit Mystery Bookstore. Then, more recently, the Salvation Army thrift store had half price on their books, which meant that all paperbacks or soft covers were $1 and hardcovers were $2. So I think that you will agree that I was actually quite contained here. I could have come away with a lot more books than I did, but I did pretty good. So I got Where Roses Fade by Andrew Taylor. This is from the Lidmouth series. When Maddie Harris laughs into the soft darkness of a May night, it is the last time her voice is heard. Soon the rain-swollen river sweeps her body back to Lidmouth. Maddie couldn't swim. Did she fall into the water? Could she have jumped? Maddie was a waitress, a woman of little consequence. So why are some of Lidmouth's leading citizens so anxious to establish that the death was accidental? Then the rumors begin to circulate, and with them comes another death. As fear tightens its hold on the town, Jill Francis and Inspector Richard Thornhill can no longer avoid each other and the bittersweet implications of their attraction. But there are more secrets here. The living have their mysteries as well as the dead. So this is not the first in a series. I haven't read any of this series, but I'm fine with just starting here. I also found The Other People by C.J. Tudor. I read The Chalk Man, and it was pretty good. This is a book, I don't anticipate keeping this book. It's in really good shape, so I'm going to read it myself and then put it in our little free library. It says that it is a gripping thriller about a man desperately searching for his missing family, who falls under the sway of a sinister support group with a murderous agenda. Yikes. I found an Anne Perry. I'm collecting her books from the Charlotte and Thomas Pitt series and the William Monk series. And this one is a Charlotte and Thomas Pitt, Silence in Hanover Close. So this is a Victorian era historical mystery. And this one is from 1988, so this is one of the earlier ones in the series. And then I've been wanting to try Kate Mosse. So when I found this for $1, I thought I would give it a whirl. And again, if I don't feel like I need to keep it, I can throw it in the little free library. It's in really good shape. This is The Winter Ghosts. Do you believe in ghosts? It's 1928. Freddie Watson is still grieving for his brother lost in the Great War. Driving through the foothills of the French Pyrenees, his car spins off the road in a snowstorm. Freddie takes refuge in an isolated village and there meets a beautiful, captivating woman. They spend the night talking of love and loss and war, but by daybreak, Fabrissa has vanished and Freddie realizes he holds the key to an ancient mystery that leads him deep into the mountains to a cave that has concealed an appalling secret for 700 years. Yeah, this one, with the ghosts and stuff, this one feels like a good October, November, maybe December read. I got Rebels and Traitors by Lindsey Davis, an epic novel of the English Civil War. So I was excited. This is in really good condition. I've never heard of the author, but I like the time period, and this was written in 2009. And it's a big book. It is over 700 pages. It's almost 750 pages. Set against the terrible struggle of the English Civil War and the dark plots of the Commonwealth. Rebels and Traitors tells of soldiers, adventurers, aristocrats and kings, tradesmen, politicians, radicals, and scavengers, and the hopes and dreams that carried them through one of the most turbulent eras of English history. Men who never imagined fighting a war risk their lives. Women strive to keep families and businesses together through years of deprivation. Innocents are caught up in bloodshed and terror. After years of struggle, star-crossed lovers on opposite sides of the parliamentarian royalist divide are brought together by fate on one of the significant dates of the struggles and in the aftermath. But after the adversity and loss of war, a dark shadow will continue to lurk over them, and even in peace, the past is not far behind. So yeah, we'll see. I found another in the Flavia de Luce series. This is A Red Herring Without Mustard by Alan Bradley. So yeah, this was a hardcover for $2. I was totally going to pick it up. So the Flavia de Luce series is a series set in England in the 50s, and Flavia is like 12 years old. And so this is a really fun historical mystery series. So I found A Brief History of the Anglo-Saxons by Geoffrey Hindley, The Beginnings of the English Nation. I have a couple other of these brief history books, and I quite like them. And so yeah, the Anglo-Saxons, that's going to be an interesting time period. Yeah, and I just really enjoy history. And so yeah, for $1, awesome. I also found The Mystery of Olga Chekhova by Anthony Beevor. I'm not entirely sure how to say his name. She remains one of the great enigmas of World War II, a stunning Russian beauty and niece of playwright Anton Chekhov, who became a Nazi-era film star in Hitler's Germany. Who really was Olga Chekhova? In the first book to tackle that question, Anthony Beevor, one of the most acclaimed historians writing today, offers a riveting tale of revolution, war, and survival. After fleeing Bolshevik Moscow for Berlin in 1920, Olga was recruited by her composer brother Lev to work for Soviet intelligence. In return, her family was allowed to join her. The story of how Olga and those closest to her endured the Russian Revolution, the rise of Hitler, the Stalinist terror, and the Second World War becomes, in Beevor's hands, a breathtaking epic of Faustian choices in a merciless age. Sounds really interesting. I found The Fifth Avenue Artists Society by Joy Calloway. I heard about this book from Becca on Hicks Picks Books. The Bronx, 1891. Virginia Lofton, the boldest of four artistic sisters in a family living in genteel poverty, knows what she wants most: to become a celebrated novelist despite her gender, and to marry Charlie, the boy next door and her first love. When Charlie proposes instead to a woman from a wealthy family, Ginny is devastated. Shutting out her family, she holes up and turns their story into fiction, obsessively rewriting a better ending. Though she works with newfound intensity, literary success eludes her. until she attends a salon hosted in her brother's writer friend John Hopper's Fifth Avenue mansion. Among painters, musicians, artists, actors, and writers, Ginny returns to herself, even blooming under the handsome, enigmatic John's increasingly romantic intentions. Just as she and her siblings have become swept up in the society, though, Charlie throws himself back into her path, and Ginny learns that the salon's bright lights may be obscuring dark shadows. Torn between two worlds that aren't quite as she imagined them, Ginny will realize how high the stakes are for her family, her writing, and her chance at love. So I hope this is more historical fiction than romance, but we'll find out. And then this one is awesome. I got this one for my husband. The History of Piracy by Philip Goss. Great cover. Written by an eminent authority on pirate lore and literature, The History of Piracy is one of the most important books on the subject. Tracing the rise of piracy from its ancient beginnings to its ultimate demise, it leads readers down an exciting path of fortune, fame, and folly. Within this exhaustive volume on the pirate profession, readers will encounter an unforgettable cast of plundering characters, eccentric, dramatic, but always human. Here are the maritime brigands who challenged even the most powerful nations on the high seas. From the Vikings to the Elizabethan corsairs to the buccaneers of the West, discover who these pirates were, what they did, and ultimately why they disappeared. A landmark in picaresque history, this classic provides penetrating detail on the world's seafaring outlaws, including their morals, codes of honor, and taboos. It's sure to satisfy the modern reader's enduring fascination with pirates and their lives. And I think one of the things that interested me the most is that this was originally published in 1932. So I thought that was really interesting. Oh, and then I found Samuel Butler's Erewhon. I don't know how to say that. I kind of grabbed it because it's a Penguin classic, and I like Penguin classics. This is a satire, I believe. We object to progress, said the venerable professor of worldly wisdom. When the traveler Higgs discovers the remote land of Erewhon, he finds a strange race who have forbidden the use of machines, who treat their sick like criminals and their criminals like sick people, who suppress originality and hold that the greatest scholarly achievement is proficiency in the study of unreason and hypothetics. The great debunker of the social and religious hypocrisy of his day, Samuel Butler began to write the satirical novel shortly after he read The Origin of the Species, which influenced him greatly. First published in 1872, this novel still retains its freshness and originality, and we have as much to learn from it as ever. So, there you go. This is a Victorian novel. And so, yeah, we'll see. I'm not as great with satires, but, you know, I'm willing to give it a go. And I found Wouldn't It Be Deadly by D.E. Ireland. I read this book years ago and loved it, so I was super excited to find it for $2. This is an Elizabeth Doolittle and Henry Higgins mystery. Right? Isn't that awesome? Following Eliza Doolittle's successful appearance at the embassy ball, where she won Henry Higgins' bet that he could pass off a Cockney flower girl as a duchess, she becomes an assistant to his chief rival, Emil Nepomuk, after he publicly takes credit for transforming Eliza into a lady. An enraged Higgins submits proof to a London newspaper that his nemesis is a fraud. When that nemesis is found with a dagger in his back, Henry Higgins becomes Scotland Yard's prime suspect. However, Eliza learns that most of Nepomuk's pupils had a reason to murder their blackmailing teacher. As another suspect turns up dead and evidence goes missing, Eliza and Higgins realize the only way to clear the professor's name is to discover which of Nepomuk's many enemies is the real killer. Fun, right? And then last but not least is A Rose for the Crown by Anne Easter Smith. Again, this is such a huge book, and to get it for $1 is amazing. So this one is about 650 pages. I have one other book by this author, and I can't remember what it was called. She writes historical fiction. This one is from This one is from 2006. An unforgettable heroine, a king misunderstood by history, a love story that has never been told. In A Rose for the Crown, we meet one of history's alleged victims through the eyes of a captivating new heroine, the woman who was the mother of his illegitimate children, a woman who loved him for who he really was, no matter what the cost to herself. As Kate Hout moves from her peasant roots to the luxurious palaces of England, her path is inextricably intertwined with that of Richard, Duke of Gloucester, later King Richard III. Although they could never marry, their young passion grows into a love that sustains them through war, personal tragedy, and the dangerous heights of political triumph. Anne Easter Smith's impeccable research provides the backbone of an engrossing and vibrant debut from a major new historical novelist. Well, there you go. This is her debut book, so I didn't know that. So there you have it. That is my book haul. Have you read any of these books? I would love to chat with you about them in the comment section down below, and I will see you for another video soon. Bye.